Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How are we today? I hope you're having a great Wednesday. I almost called it Thursday, which is crazy. It's not Thursday. It's Wednesday because it's that day of the week where we chat with Doug. Wow, Doug, you're never on the internet. It's so refreshing
It's
to see
so
you.
rare. Yes, I will
It's
do one of these rare talks with
yeah.
people. Only because of you, Heather. You brought me out of my years of isolation and being away from the people. You brought me back. So thank you, Heather. You're
You're
welcome.
welcome. You're welcome. Anyway,
Promise myself. Promise
thank
myself.
you so much for this level 3 hype train that we have going on. In case you haven't noticed, the hype train looks a little different because we have entered, starting today, Twitch has something, an incentive program, I suppose is what we can call it, that they started today called the End of Year Bonus. And a part of that this week is that any cheer over 300 bits gives us, as a channel, Channel Awesome, bonus bits. And it's actually really interesting. I saw it on my channel earlier this afternoon. If you give more than 300 bits, then like Twitch, the actual like Twitch channel, a bot like pops in and donates the extra bits. So it's not just like a little bonus that we promise it's happening. Like Twitch will pop in and
Oh,
actually
I'm seeing it
give those
advertised
extra
right under
bonus bits.
right under the stream. There it is. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, there it is. Okay.
Yes. And another part of that is there are some new hype train emotes. So if you are someone who likes to collect those emotes, there's limited time emotes that are new for the hype train. So check that out
Check it
if
out.
you are interested in that and being a part of the hype train. I am going to get to the rules though so that we can start answering these questions. First and foremost, we give priority to the bit messages since that is real world money spent towards the end of streams. Sometimes we have time for highlighted questions, but please save your highlighting towards the end of stream because if you highlight it now, I physically cannot scroll up and see it. It is a live show that we're doing right now.
First, I thought you were saying like the comment was alive, like it's alive. Like what? And
No,
it
no.
will not move. It's a stubborn thing that is living.
No, words are just hard for me today. Um, what was I saying? Oh, yes. And highlighting a question does not guarantee that we are going to see it or answer it. Please do not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do it. We do get behind on the bit messages. There is no need to repeat them. It is extremely rare that we actually miss a message. It is more likely that we are up to 45 minutes to an hour behind. Have some patience. We will get to it. Please watch the length of your questions, chat. You know I adore you, but I am already seeing some novellas. I am seeing a whole bunch of chunks of text coming at me. Please, 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 short and sweet and to the point is better. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely we are to lose the point, and we do not have time to repeat it. So please, short and to the point is better. No spoilers. Not everyone has had a chance to see everything that's out right now.
Including the #1 movie, Boy and the Heron.
Woo!
How fucking cool is that? #1. That is so fucking cool. I have not seen it yet, but I am going to see it this weekend.
Right?
Although I
Yeah.
guess with Miyazaki, even if someone's told what happened in the movie, does it really matter? You're going for the experience. Like you could say what happens in Kiki. It's not like, oh no, well, spoilers. It's like no, but it's like you see it because goddamn, you feel like you're flying. You feel like you're with the character. I'm rambling. I'm excited to see that movie.
I'm really excited too. I was saying that maybe I need to do a double feature of Boy and the Heron and Godzilla -1
There you
whenever
go.
I have time to actually go to the theater. Oh, maybe check to see if someone has already asked the question that you have asked. It's not like you're going to get in trouble for that. We just feel bad if you are the fourth person to ask what next week's Nostalgia Critic review is, and we just have to kind of give you the scraps of an answer. So maybe just check that out. Yeah, that's all. I think that's it. I feel like that's it.
Think we good.
Okay, great. Awesome. Then let's jump right into it. That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Hello, Dom and Harry. How are you delightful Nutcracker Tales doing tonight?
Oh, am I the dumb? Good, thank you.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. How would you rank Jack Sparrow's intros in each Pirates movie?
Uh, I mean, the first one's the best. I like the I just like the second one because there's this excitement of, oh, they're gonna do this in every movie. That's great. And that one, I think, it's like, well, how do you do something like the first? Just give them a unique entrance, and that was a pretty funny, unique way, and it was a great reintroduction when you hear the theme come back when he comes out of the coffin and everything. I thought that was the first one's funnier, but the second one's a little bit more inventive, if that makes sense.
Yeah. At Movies, thank you for the 100 bits. Good evening, Doug Cracker. How are you?
Thank you, and I am insulted. That's a slur.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Can we expect a Disney December review of A Haunting in Venice this year?
No. And it's funny because I've been scheduling so many things wrong. I was missing a Disney December this year, and I'm like, oh shit! But I didn't have time to watch an additional something, so I'm replacing it with the Rudyard Kipling Jungle Book, the one from the guy who directed The Mummy, which I actually do like. It is complete nonsense. It has nothing to do with the story, but it's kind of like the 66 Batman. For something that has nothing to do with Batman, it's really fun.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Top 3 favorite and least favorite Johnny Depp performances.
Shit. Oh, Ed Wood. I really do like Edward Scissorhands. Raoul Duke is great. Least favorite Willy Wonka's on there. I never see Mordecai, but I'll just say that. And I guess Dark Shadows. Yeah, maybe I'll go with that.
Nintega, thank you for the 100 bits. Has anyone ever told you that your Gumball joke in your Garfield 2 review is actually somewhat true, and that show actually did reference Silence of the Lamb?
Oh, I didn't. It's funny because I think I made that joke before I actually saw the show. I just
really?
knew kind of what it was. Now I love the show. Show's phenomenal. No, I don't think I saw the one that has Silence of the Lambs in it. But that sounds right. It sounds like they would make a reference in there.
That's Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Here's the big question. Did you see the Kung Fu Panda 4 trailer? I think it looks awesome, and the chameleon looks like he might be another top-tier DreamWorks villain.
I believe it's a she. Thank you so much. I could be wrong. But yeah, no, I think that, because I'm thinking, well, how do you... I mean, I like that trilogy great, but I'm like, well, why would you do a fourth one? But what are you going to really do to top it and stuff like that? And I always love that idea of bringing back all the villains. I just love, same thing with like No Way Home and the Spider-Verse movie. I love when they do that. So I think that's a cool idea. And it's kind of video gamey too, where this person like takes the essence of the villain and then can kind of transform into him. So yeah, I like that they didn't show much either. It's just these little bits of what it is. I mean, it's a good teaser. I'm not like crazy excited, but I'm like, okay, I see some possibilities with this. Yeah. So, yeah, and it still looked funny too. So, no, I'm excited for it.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you seen? Now, I know we had this conversation last year, and I don't remember what the answer is. I don't know if it's Claus or Klaus, the one with the K. Is it just Claus?
I think it's Claus. Yeah,
okay, great. Claus, 2019. And if so, what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, no, I really like it. That's one of those. Maybe next year I'll review. I need a hard copy of it. I know it's a Netflix movie, so that might be tricky. But I don't know if one exists. But yeah, I liked it a great deal. Especially for a film where you think you kind of know where it's going, and it looks like it's going to be the liar revealed story. It is kinda, but I thought where they went with it was very smart, very clever, and I especially like it because I really thought I wasn't going to like the main character. I thought he was going to be too one note and too whiny, but they did a good job. I thought it was very well done.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. What are your thoughts on the film Irma La Duce with Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine?
Boy, I'm thinking of Irma La. I'm thinking of The Apartment. It's a different movie with Shirley MacLaine. I don't think I've ever seen this. No, I have never seen this movie. I will try to check it out because I really like Jack Lemmon, and yeah, MacLaine back in the day was pretty good too. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Honest reviewer, thank you for the 100 bits. Sup, Doug and Heather. Either of you two seen the Kung Fu Panda 4 trailer? For me, it looks good. Know you're pretty indifferent to Aquafina, but personally, I found myself liking her animated characters, at least in the film that are animated. So sorry, Scuttle. Nice to see Ian McShane back, but kind of concerned how the Furious Five aren't in the trailer or poster, wondering if they'll ever be in the movie this time.
I'm sure they will. If at the very least they're gonna do something where maybe they're not in the movie and then they come in at the end, kind of thing. If they're gonna bring back all the villains, I feel like they have to bring them in. At the very least, animate them, even if they can't get the voice actors. Yeah, and like I said, they didn't show much, so I like that there's more room for things to be explored more and stuff like that. Because we always say trailers give away too much. I like this one's given just enough for now. So yeah, I think it looks good.
Hey, Incarnati, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey guys, have either of you seen The Boy and the Heron yet? And Doug, will you do a Disney December on it?
Probably won't do a Disney December because Studio Ghibli films in particular get hit pretty hard with copyright claims, and we always fight them and everything. But it's like, that's a lot of money we're not getting, and then that kills it in the algorithm whenever that happens. So maybe if I have time, I'll do like a vlog review of it because I do love Miyazaki. And no, I haven't seen it yet, but we're gonna try and see it this weekend.
Sergeant Dogdirt, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you thought about doing an NC review on the Dennis Leary comedy The Ref? It's a very underrated Christmas movie that I watch every year.
When I was a kid, I really wanted to see that movie, but it's rated R. It looks like for good reason. And I never saw it. And maybe I should see it this year because there's another movie for some reason I didn't see when I was a kid. It was Prancer. And I really wanted to see it. And everyone just told me, nah, it's too boring. And for some reason, my mom wouldn't let me see it. She's like, no, it's more of an adult kids movie, if that makes sense. I'm like, no, it doesn't. So I finally saw it this year. I just fucking loved it. And I'm so pissed I didn't grow up with this movie because I feel like I would have loved growing up with this movie. And it was exactly what I thought it would be and was hoping it would be. So maybe The Ref will be the same thing. I always heard mixed things about it. Some people like it, some don't. But yeah, I should give it a shot. Let me write that down because we're always looking for new Christmas movies to watch. That's not a bad one.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. What are your thoughts on the movie Layer Cake?
Boy, that sounds familiar. Hold on. Layer Cake movie. Oh, maybe I don't know this. Yeah, this is another one I don't know. I'll try and check it out.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, here's a couple ideas for a new theme for Disney December next year. Searchlight Pictures or National Geographic. Limitless with Chris Hemsworth is really engaging and inspiring.
I believe you. Nobody's gonna watch National Geographic for a Disney December. Even though I'm sure a lot of them are going, "What's National Geographic?" Of course, it's good. But yeah, I try to do a mix of what I want to do and what people will watch. I don't think anyone's gonna care about National Geographic. Searchlight, maybe. Oh, I never did do Miramax either. I just realized. That's another one I got. I don't know. There's a couple where I was just like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find any more. But I'm like, wait, no, there are a couple I can do here. So I'll have that, add that to the list too.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 100 bits. I wanted to recommend a 13-episode anime for you from 2003 called Kino's Journey, where this girl named Kino travels to different countries on her talking motorbike named Hermes. I cried at the end of the series, and it takes a lot for that to happen.
Not only have I seen it, I've seen the sequel series, which is kind of a reboot, kind of. No, I love talking about that show because that's one of the few that, so many people know so many animes, but when I bring that up, nobody knows that show. And I'm just like, ha, I got one. Kind of like, well, actually, it's like I was a fan of it before. Actually, there is no before because it's still not very well known. But I love it. It was like it's like if Twilight Zone was combined with like a story about a hitchhiker kind of thing, or a traveler, I should say. Like everywhere she goes, there's a different place that has kind of a different twist and story, backstory, and stuff like that. Yeah, I loved it. And I like the sequel series too. I greatly enjoyed it.
Rob's Jen, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I know you weren't blown away by it, but I thought TMNT Mutant Mayhem was unlucky not to be nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Golden Globes. I think we can all agree it deserves to be there more than Wish or the Mario movie.
Wish was nominated? What?
Yeah, Wish was.
Yeah. That definitely. At first, I was like, well, what were the other nominees? Oh, that's on there? No, that makes no sense. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that should be on there.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you seen Romeo plus Juliet 1996? And if so, what are your thoughts?
No, but I know what it is. I remember seeing that at the video store a lot. And some people have wanted me to review it. I will try to check it out at some point.
At Movies, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on the trailers for Kung Fu Panda 4 and the A24 movie Civil War?
I didn't see the Civil War one. I gotta check that out. Yeah, Kung Fu Panda 4. I'm poor. 4. I'm glad it's just a teaser. I'm glad we didn't see a ton because I want to look forward to more. I'm glad it didn't give away too much. Yeah, I like the idea. I think the villain looks cool. Yeah, no, I'm excited for it.
Sergeant Dogdirt, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you had a chance to see the animated Netflix movie Claws?
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Kung Fu Panda 4 again. Yes, I really like it. Maybe next year if I can find a hard copy of it. I'll do that for a nostalgia crit because people have asked me to review it.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, at some point, please check out Second Star to the Left. It's another nostalgic Christmas animated short that's very cute for what it is.
I have that on a list somewhere. Now I'm trying to think where did I have that written down? But yeah, I think it's been brought up here before. I haven't seen it, but I do have it on a list somewhere.
Sergeant Dogdirt, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you had a chance to see the... Oh, it was a repeat. Maybe they didn't realize the first one went through. It's about claws again. The same question.
Well, yes, and it's good.
Elite Gamer, thank you for that 16-month subscription.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back. Appreciate it. Hello, Heather Doug, and of course, the star of the show, Chaplin. Hope you both are doing well today. I've actually seen today's special, and yeah, it's a pretty solid question for you. A possible hint at any crazy NCs for the new year. Thanks as always for everything you guys do. You rock.
Yeah, we just saw it, and it is my first Steven Seagal review, which is really weird to think I haven't done a Steven Seagal movie in all
That's
these years.
wild.
And it's amazing. I have never seen this movie. I think I was even asking here, like, what's like said to be his worst one, and everybody brought up this movie, and I thought it was like, because I'm like, well, his later stuff has to be the worst, right? Because everyone makes fun of him later and stuff like that. But this one is from like the mid '90s, and everyone's like, oh, by far, I mean, like leaps and bounds is worse, and they're right. It's phenomenal. It is so entertainingly bad.
Max Man, thank you for that 6-month subscription. Welcome back. Appreciate that. Hey, Doug and Heather, hope you two are having a great night.
Back at you.
Yeah, it's better now that you're here. That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you had a chance to see The Boy and the Heron yet? The more explanation videos I watch about it, the more I realize how good it was. Definitely a top 2 animated film of the year for me.
Not yet. I'm going to try and see it this weekend. I am really fascinated. I'm hearing more and more about, well, it's very abstract. Yeah, the abstract nature. But yeah, you really kind of got to let it sit. And I'm excited for that. Most Miyazaki movies, I mean, they're weird, but they're pretty straightforward. I like the idea of seeing one where it's kind of like, oh, you gotta kind of let it sit for a little bit. I'm pretty excited to see that.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 100 bits. Excuse me. Another anime recommendation is Bo 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 Bo, where it is a parody of a fighting anime like Dragon Ball, where the yellow afroed man uses his nose hair as a main weapon and consistently breaks the fourth wall.
Okay, I feel like I've heard that before. Maybe seen like a drawing of it or something like that.
For sure.
I have not seen the anime though. I will. I was gonna say I'll try to check it out, but I know I'm not going to. Not because I don't want to. I'm just not gonna have the time. I already have so many other shows, animes, movies to check out, and I just want to see them more than bo 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 bo. So I'm sorry.
Max Man, thank you for the 100 bits. In terms of this week's review, honestly, I'm surprised you didn't talk about the character design, since in my opinion, the characters all looked a little chubby to me. I don't know, they all just looked a bit off.
That's always been a little bit in Tom and Jerry, though. If you really look at the designs of Tom and Jerry, they are a little odd looking. And it kind of came from that time period where they all have those really chubby cheeks that almost like, I can't explain it. They almost like overlap the eyes like this. They're really, really weird. So that's always kind of been a little bit of a design. So I don't know. It didn't bother me that much.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. Some people are confused by Kang's goal in the MCU. Their core purpose is to conquer all of space and time, hence the purpose of the multiverse saga. In the comics, he sees himself like Alexander the Great. Each Kang conquers in different ways. Like He Who Remains, pruning the timelines is another way of conquering. Granted, the Kevin Feige didn't do a great job expounding upon that. Did that help?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you could say that about a lot of characters. It's how they explore it that makes the difference. Like, Thanos was pretty boring when they were building him up so much, but then when Infinity War finally came, it was just like, okay, now I get this guy. Now I get what he's about. And I didn't need exactly that. I just needed a little bit more. But you're probably right. I'm sure if you got like a good director, or good writers, like I'm sure there have been for that character in the past, would make me understand it better.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I get why you would think younglings is an odd name to call children, but Star Wars is a world full of weird alien creatures, planets, and creatively bizarre names, so isn't it kind of a given that the children of this universe would have a name that fits this world?
Yeah, okay. What's the name of hell in the Star Wars universe? What's the name of angel in the Star Wars? Oh yeah, it's Hell and Angel. Just call them kids.
Demon Airs, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, we got robbed. What? We got robbed. We could have had a villain couple for the first time in a Disney movie.
You're talking about Wish, I think is what they're referring to. I love the way you did you? We got what? I love the way you did that. And it's funny because I don't know, compared to all the other problems, it didn't bother me too much. But I never thought about that there hasn't been a villain couple. There's been like sidekicks and stuff like that, but I'm like, has there ever been like a married couple? The Rescuers might have had one. Nah, I don't think they were married. But yeah, it is one of those things where it's like that would be nice. Let me put it this way: if we're gonna get one, don't you want a better movie than Wish? So maybe you're giving somebody else a good idea, and they're gonna really get like a cool villain couple in something in a future Disney movie.
Porcupines Are God, thank you for the 100 bits. I saw Boy and the Heron, and I think it's both the most surreal and possibly most beautiful of the Miyazaki films, and that says a lot considering that's basically what his films are known for. What a note to go out on.
Yeah, for now.
Right.
I always want to say his final movie, ... for now, because he always has a final movie. Yeah, no, I'm very excited to see it.
At Movies, thank you for the 100 bits. If you still want to do an Indiana Jones month, I have a way to get past the YouTube system. One, every time someone says the word Nazi or anything related, replace it with cabbage. Two, replace all the swastikas with posters for Garbage Pail Kids. And three, put James Rolfe's face on top of Hitler's.
It's a little funny. The only thing is I could do the verbal. I could put in different words and stuff like that. The swastikas everywhere, man. In those movies, like all the Nazis, have it on their armbands, and he's fighting a bunch of. So that's the one where I don't know how I would get around that. The verbal I could get around. I could, have some fun with that. But yeah, the actual symbol itself, that's where I'm like, I don't know how I get around it. I have to look more into it. I haven't yet said no, that's gonna stop everything, but I do have to look more into it.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, at some point, please check out The Chosen in time for season 4. It's legit dramatic, funny, thought-provoking, and expands on the gospel while staying true to it. Plus, Jesus is more three-dimensional.
I do want to see it. It's going to be a while, man. Like I said, I have so much to catch up by. And like I said, the shingles and the fatigue just knocked me even more behind on stuff. So I do want to see it. I have it written down on a list. It's going to be a while, though.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. Taika Waititi in an interview said he didn't really like Thor and couldn't get through the comics. He only took the job because he needed the work. That I don't fault him for that, but studios shouldn't hire any directors or writers who aren't invested or willing to learn about a character they're adapting. What do you think?
I wish I could say damn right, but honestly, it depends. There's a lot of people have gone to movies they had no idea or no interest about the subject. Best example, Star Trek 2. I don't know if the director of that really got that into Star Trek. And if you look at the style of that movie, it is very different from the style of Star Trek before that. But he said he was a bigger fan of like Sherlock Holmes and stuff like that. He didn't want to do Star Trek 3 because he didn't believe in resurrection. He wanted death to be very, very final and stuff like that. So it's all these things where it depends on what they can bring to it. All the people that made the first X-Men, which people love that first X-Men movie, all of them were like, I don't know what X-Men is. I mean, they watched the cartoon and they love the cartoon, but they're just like, I don't. But we gotta make a movie, right? So add to that, get rid of that. No, that's not going to combine these characters. And those were issues with me, but I mean, like a lot of people love that movie. So I think it depends. There's also people that can have an immense love for something and not, create the most faithful thing. Again, look at that live action Cowboy Bebop. I mean, clearly those people were fans and loved the material. And I would argue understood it. They just didn't know how to translate it to live action. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I think it depends.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. So I finally watched Die Hard for the first time. I can finally chime in on the controversial debate. I can see both sides. Christmas is all over the movie, but the action and explosions make it difficult to see it as a Christmas movie.
I don't know. I think there's, I love Christmas so much. I will just accept anything is a Christmas movie. My favorite movie of all time is Brazil. It's kind of like a funny version, 1984. It technically takes place around Christmas, so I count it. I am very, very lenient around that. So I don't know. Anything that puts you in the Christmas mood, I don't get why that can't be a Christmas movie.
Absolutely. Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Even though I have mixed feelings on Vegas Vacation, I still thought Randy Quaid was hilarious as Cousin Eddie. I think my favorite line was when Clark said to him, if anyone said he was a bad luck before, he replies, those were my mother's dying words, but I guess if your body's covered in third-degree burns and your foot's caught in a bear trap, you tend to start talking crazy.
There's really good moments in that movie. It's always one of those, when I think back on it, I'm like, yeah, that's funny. Why did I not like this movie? And then when I actually watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work in it, but there more than a handful of moments that work and are very, very funny. But there's probably a lot more that don't, if that makes sense. But there are several good scenes.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I would love an NC review for the 1997 Borrowers movie. As a fan of your work, that would make my day.
I might do that in January. January is always kind of the month where we try movies that we don't know if they're gonna do well or not. They might. I mean, some movies like have much more of a following than we thought, but yeah. So you might see it then. There's a couple movies I'm doing then. I'm just like, I don't know if this will do well. Let me try it out in January because the ads are always around that time anyway.
A Pagan Priest, thank you for the 300 bits. Hey Doug, how are you? How's your health? How's the brain fog? Didn't really have a question, just letting you know that I'm thinking of you for the holidays.
Oh my gosh, so kind. Thank you. Boy, it was getting better. And that's always the thing. It starts to get better and better and better. And then there's like some sort of really big relapse that happens for either a day or even a couple days. And it's hard to feel it out. But I mean, I think there are more good days than bad. There's more times where I'm without it than I'm with it, if that makes sense. So that is really good, but fuck, man, when it hits, it sucks. And it's not painful. That's why I hate saying that, because I sound very selfish, and it's like, God, you just get sleepy and brain foggy. It's not the worst, but man, it just delays everything. And it's so hard to even form sentences with or read. Like, I show up to shoot NCs now an hour earlier because I just know reading a script is going to be really, like, I can read it, my mind can read it, but when I have to say it, I sound like Butthead. I'll suddenly I'll be reading something like this, but if I have to read that, I'll be reading something like this. So, like, something does not connect between the brain and the mouth when I read, so I have to do every line like 8 times. Something like that. It's really weird. That's why, Heather, when you were talking about, sorry, my brain and reading today is just not going, I'm like, I know what you're talking about. Christ, I know what you're talking about.
Demon Airs, thank you for the 100 bits. So what do you think of the nominations for the Golden Globes for Best Animated Picture? Nimona got robbed.
I was going to say, if, what was the other one? Well, what's the one we were just talking about that wasn't nominated?
TMNT, the Mutant
TMNT.
Mayhem.
If that wasn't nominated, Nimona's not getting nominated. I mean, I don't know. Is that... I guess the only thing under the Oscars in terms of what I'm just like, to is the Golden Globes. I don't care. Which is not to say you shouldn't, ignore all of it or anything, but I'm like, yeah, I never got that into it. So it's not surprising when somebody's like, can you believe this wasn't nominated? I mean, no, it's not that surprising.
At Movies, thank you for the 100 bits. Do you think Disney will ever bring back the movie Friday Cat to life?
Friday Cat?
Friday, maybe? Oh, Frady! It's Frady Cat.
Oh.
Fraidy.
I don't even know this one. Frady Cat film. That's what pops up. There's a Tom and Jerry cartoon. That's all I see is this Tom and Jerry. Oh, no, here's some sort of Disney Frady Cat. Huh. I never even heard of this one. 1975. Yeah, I'll have to check this out. Actually, the history of this looks interesting. Oh, Filmation? Was this like? Is this Disney? Is it not? I don't know. I'll check it out. I'll check it out down the line.
Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 100 bits. I really liked your Disney December for Peter, Pan, and Wendy. You're right. The only scene I liked was between Hook and Wendy. I liked his backstory. Would have made a more interesting movie.
Any of those concepts would have been very, especially with that director. I think if he just took one of those and went with it, he could have made a very interesting film. And my guess is he wanted to, but Disney's like, well, no, we're Disney, we're Peter Pan. You got to do the story. You just got, you can add elements of this, but you still got to stick to the bullet points and everything. And I'm just like, oh, I would have loved to seen what that guy would have done if he could just take one of those ideas and really, really dive into it.
Drama Opsity, thank you for the 100 bits. Who would you say is the best relationship in Owl House? Etta and Rain or Luce and Amity?
Oh, listen, Amity. Yeah, no, they had real chemistry. They were very likable. And it's so funny because Eda and Rain already had that connection, that relationship. And I usually like those more where they already have a history. But the one with Luce and Amity, like you legit really bought the romance. You saw the development from Amity really, really grow and change and have an arc, and was on that first season and everything. So that was very fun to see. It was fun just to see her grow as a character. Especially taking this one note character is usually so boring and make her more complex and everything. So yeah, no, I really liked that relationship a lot.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, please play Telltale's The Walking Dead as your next palate cleanser game after Spider-Man 2, especially in time for the 12th anniversary in April. P.S. The definitive edition with all seasons in one game.
Why 12? What a random. The 12th anniversary. Why not 10? Why not 15? We'll see. I have it on a list for stuff we can play. But yeah, we haven't decided yet.
Porcupines Are God, thank you for the 100 bits. Is it just me, or are animated family films given really bad trailers a lot of the time? Makes it a lot harder to pick out what will be good or not.
Oh yeah, beginning of time. That's been true. Even I remember when Frozen was coming out, people were going to check out the Japanese trailer instead of the American trailer because the American was all the snowman, where the Japanese one actually showed like the queen and the ice powers and stuff like that, and the song and everything. So yeah, I mean they do that because it sells. But I remember Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. Actually, Aladdin had okay advertising, but Lion King. They usually have two types of trailers. They have one kind of the teaser. It's supposed to be really big and epic, and then after that, it's like, but we're fun and silly, ha ha ha. All your favorite Disney characters, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think people just go off of that. But yeah, I think they're seeing more and more sort of the big epic trailers. People are preferring a little bit more. I don't know. When I was a kid, I liked feeling like I was seeing a little bit more of a grown-up story, kind of thing.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. The Boy and the Heron made me want to watch more of Miyazaki's work. The 3 films of his that I've seen are Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, and The Boy and the Heron. You
Kiki.
Absolutely should.
Yeah, and Kiki is just a little under Spirited Away for me. It is different. It doesn't have quite as much weird shit in it. But it's just so goddamn charming. Yeah, there aren't even like his quote unquote bad films aren't really bad.
Right.
They could just be a little unfocused. But there's I don't know. I've never seen a Miyazaki movie and have gotten nothing from it. You know what I mean? There's always something where I'm like, even if it's just like a moment or a design or an idea, I'm like, I'm gonna treasure that goddamn thing forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Max Man, thank you for the 100 bits. Idea for fanscription. What if Haunted Mansion 2023 got a sequel? Pretty much adapt Phantom Manor or maybe reference Mystic Manor from Hong Kong Disneyland.
They did it. Rob and Walter actually did do a Haunted Mansion fanscription, and they did it around the Phantom Manor. I think it was the Phantom Manor. So yeah, check that out.
Fire Tower, thank you for the 100 bits. Hi, how was your day today?
Good, stressful actually, because the Cameo app wasn't working, and
No.
and some of them were where this was the last day to get them done, and it's like I don't want them to not get their Cameo, and I also don't want I want the money to go to charity and stuff like that. So I'm like, come on, you motherfucking piece of shit. I was so angry. but it got figured out. I just had to turn it off and on a couple times, but it finally got worked out.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 100 bits. I may have found an error in Batman 89. You know how Vicky and Bruce are having dinner at his house on a date? He asks her if she found the house okay. Why would he ask that after they already spoke at the house during the charity before?
Well, first of all, there are a ton of film flubs in that movie. I mean, tons. But on top of that, I kind of like that because it shows he's a little awkward on like an actual date. I mean, he's eating in that room. They're far away from each other and stuff like that. So I think that's intentional.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, can we get a clue for next week's NC review, please?
It is I have the director of it, one of the directors of it in the review, and it is somebody I've had on before.
At Movies, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on the movie Game Night?
Oh, I like it. Yeah, just a straightforward, funny comedy. It's a great idea. I feel like it's an idea that's been done before, but with that cast and crew, and it has a little bit more of a dark edge to it. I thought it was pretty funny.
Drama Opsity, thank you for the 100 bits. Are any of you excited for The Iron Claw? It's the new Zac Efron movie about the wrestling family, the Von Erichs. It also has the bear in it. Yeah, that actually looks really interesting. They both got ripped for that movie.
Okay, I got a G.I. Joe character instead. There it is. I saw on what's it called? BBC, the critic there really didn't like it, so I was kind of like, but I hope it's good because I think it's a good cast. I think I don't know. I always say I'm not really big into wrestling, but I'm big into wrestlers, if that makes sense. I love the story, the craft, the art behind it. I think all of that's really interesting. A lot of them are really cool, funny people, have great personalities and stuff. So movies about wrestling, I actually really like. What was that? Fighting the Family or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, anyone that's the wrestler, I think is great. Like movies like that, I actually do legit enjoy.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. Heather and Doug, since the crux of Across the Spider-Verse is about canon events that must play out, what are your canon events that every version of you must do to make you who you are?
Shave the head, definitely.
Maybe your I Quit video or something,
Maybe. What a fun question. That's a really fun question.
That is.
Every version of me would have to have glasses at some point. Every version of me would have to be at the very least a little goofy. Every version of me would have to go through or still be in like a black phase, like wearing black and having like weird, creepy
emo phase.
I guess you could say. I don't know. Emo? I don't know what this is. It's crazy. Something about me would have to be at the very least a little bonkers. I'd say it's probably. How about you, Heather? That's such a good question.
I don't know.
I feel like purple would always have to be in there. I just so think of purple when I think of you.
I mean, like, can I get dark for a second? Hey, chat.
Fuck yeah.
Let's get dark. I feel like it would be a canon event for me to always be as bullied as hard as I was in middle school, because that's what gave me a sense of humor and my resiliency and like my ability to laugh through everything. It's because everyone threw desks at my head and called me many, many, many names.
wait, threw what at your head?
Desks. Mm-hmm. Like, desks, spitballs.
Wait,
chairs.
An entire desk at you.
Yeah, and the teacher didn't believe me, and I was like, that's cool. Chairs got thrown at me. Yeah.
Fuck?
I was the weird smelly girl.
Like a psycho.
Yeah, I know.
Holy shit, that's okay. Having a desk thrown at you is definitely a canon event for anybody.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. Heather, I just read that, sorry. Porcupines Are God, thank you for the 100 bits. Favorite and least favorite Christmas songs?
What's it? I hate Santa Baby. That is such... Especially when the person sings like, it'd be Santa Baby.
The little baby voice.
Yeah, like, favorite. I'm telling you. I don't, for some reason I like the corniness of It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. I really like that.
I've got a soft spot for Oh Holy Night.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Silent Night, love. Yeah, I don't know. It's There's one that's not, sadly, not played anywhere, and I really like. It's the one from the Mickey Christmas Carol. Is right. Oh, what a merry Christmas day! And there's some covers of it on YouTube, and some of them are just gorgeous. This one, it sounds like a Southern singer just did one a cappella, just used all these different versions of her voice. And it's just like the most angelic thing I've ever heard. It's a wonderful Christmas song, and nobody ever remembers it or talks about it, but it's so good. It's the opening of Mickey's Christmas Carol. Just go check it out. It's an absolutely beautiful song.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 100 bits. I wanted to recommend some documentaries about movies and behind the scenes. Spine Tingler, The William Castle Story,
Oh,
Poor Man's World, These Amazing Shadows, 2011, Men in Suits, and the 4-hour documentary on Walt Disney by PBS.
did I see the PBS one? I might have years ago. The others I haven't seen, and I like checking out documentaries like that. A lot of them are on Amazon, and I love watching them. Okay, a lot of those sound really good.
Nintega, thank you for the 100 bits. As much as I love This Is Happening, do you think there will be too many action comedies in 2024 with films like Argyle, The Fall Guy, and Deadpool 3 getting a lot of attention and hype? It feels like 2024 will be, for lack of a better term, the year of the action comedy.
I mean, as long as they're good, I don't care. As long as they're finding something new to bring and add to it, I don't mind trends. I mean, we're gonna be like, oh, there are too many comic book movies. Yeah, sure, but we're gonna be like, I wish the MCU never happened, and all the Batman movies and Dark Knight movies. It's like, no, I still want those. They were great. There were surprisingly a lot of good ones. So as long as they always find something, kind of creative and new about it, and they make it good, I'm down for them.
Drama Opsity, thank you for the 100 bits. Question for both: favorite movie poster?
I know it. The every time I see it, I still get like a cool ooh. Actually, it's a toss-up. One is just the Batman '89 poster. I think just having that symbol is one of the coolest things of all time. The other is the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade poster. I don't know what it is. I love looking at that. I love the spacing. I love where the characters are. I love how big Indy's, head is, and then the father there. I love him at the bottom. I love the textures of it, the colors of it. I don't know. That's just the most, like, when I think of just epic movie poster, like everybody should try to, copy this movie poster. Like, that's the one. It's that Last Crusade.
Is
What
that
about
a
you, Heather?
Struzan?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I just love his work. So,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Oh, wait. You don't have one? Oh, come on. You have to have one.
I genuinely don't. I'm sorry. I never paid attention to movie posters. I don't know. Oh, we lost you. There you are.
Okay.
There you are.
All right. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Did you say what it was?
No, I'm boring. I genuinely never used to pay attention to movie posters. I could not tell you.
Oh, all right. Fair
I'm
enough.
sorry. I wish I was more
Wait, how do you
exciting.
know who Drew Struzan is then if you don't pay attention to movie posters?
Because my husband is a photorealist illustrator, and we have a book of his movie posters.
All right. Just pick one of those. Anyway, say Big Trouble in Little China. Everybody loves that one.
Sure, great.
Right.
Leland, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I'm so glad you're reviewing the Ice Age movies. My grandparents used to love those movies.
I only like one, and that was the third one. What a random one to like, but yeah. No, I guess I haven't seen any that I hated. But yeah, three's only one I legit got into.
Cypher, thank you for the 100 bits. Nothing I love more than getting DoorDash and sitting down to a fresh NC episode. Thank you for making premium watching while eating content.
My wife and I got sick this past weekend. I mean, I just had the fatigue thing and everything, and she got like a cold. So we're not far from a grocery store, but we were like, neither of us can drive. So we did DoorDash for the first time for a grocery store that was literally just down the street. It was the laziest we ever felt, but we got Christmas cookies, and it was worth it.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. What are some of the best movies with bad titles? Batman Begins is a classic example for me.
I guess it's kind of a bad title. Man, I know there's like, I'm trying to think of ones where it's like just saying the title made me laugh.
Right.
I don't know. Let me hold on. Bad movie titles. Oh, someone said Alien. Fuck you. That's an ingenious title.
Yeah.
Let's see. Uh, man,
Honest
yeah, most of
reviewer
the
in chat says Attack of the Clones is pretty bad.
yeah, but that's a bad movie too. Yeah, I'm trying to look for ones that I almost for the insanity of it. I kind of gotta say this one because this is a good movie. Octopussy, which is part of the point. It's supposed to sound
Right.
bad, but I'm like, but I don't know. That is pretty stupid.
Oh, Lord R. Wolfen in chat says live free, die hard. Live free and die hard.
And that's another one where it's like, yeah, that's pretty stupid, but it's kind of funny.
Cameron Blythe, thank you for the 100 bits. Recently watched all of Malcolm in the Middle. Do you have a favorite episode? Mine is the bowling episode.
That one's really clever because everybody was doing a what would happen a side by side at the same time episode for that was like a trend at the time. That was the only one where I was like, man, that was really clever. That had a good payoff and it was so smart. Favorite episode. I have a favorite joke which involves this giant firework going off. And when I say that, if you've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about. It's gonna sound weird. It might be it might just be the last one. I thought that was such a good finale. I remember that '70s show was ending. They had so many specials, so many, behind the scenes and everything of this stupid piece of shit show. I don't care what anyone says. That's an awful show. And Malcolm Mill just got to end on the, series finale of Malcolm in the Middle. This happens. I'm like, what? That's ending? What? But that felt right because I was always kind of the underdog in many respects. Like it was kind of the crappy family that people would kind of laugh at and then forget about. And now more people remember that than that '70s show. So that weirdly felt right. It just felt, and the great reveal that they never said what the family's last name was. I could not believe all that time I watched it and I never put together, they never reveal what their last name was. That was amazing to me.
Max Man, thank you for the 100 bits. In terms of the skits you did for your sponsors, my favorite was for ExpressVPN, where you answer the door and find out someone made a clone of you. Best part was when you did that interpreted dance while your clone was still waving.
I do kind of remember that one. I got I guess I won't say what it is, but I got my first one where I can't believe it took this long, where they said, don't improvise anything. Don't say, just read the script kind of thing. And I was amazed after all these years of doing it. That's the first time I ever got one. Just read the script. And it wasn't like one I've done before. They didn't see me. They're like, hey, just read the script. We don't like what you do. That wasn't it at all. This is just what they say in their sponsorships. And I was really fascinated. That was the first time I ever got one of those after all these years.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Top 3 favorite Jack Lemmon performances.
Oh, Christ. Day of Wine Roses would be up there. The Great Race has to be up there. I stole so much in the Nostalgia Critic from that. Was he in The Apartment? I think it was in The Apartment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's another Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine movie, I think. Let me see. The Apartment. Yeah, that was him too. Yeah, so that's 2 movies they were in. Okay, interesting. Yeah, he's really great in that as well. I mean, he's a phenomenal actor. Just Shakespeare. He's weirdly not good at Shakespeare.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. When I hear some people hate on the my brain just went dead. Also, that timing really scared me, Carl.
Yeah.
Thank you. Talkative Carl, thank you for the 100 bits. I'm just starting over. When I hear some people hate on the multiversal saga in the MCU, I get annoyed. To me, this is the next logical step from the Infinity Saga. There's spots that weren't handled well, but overall, it's great and brings up great conversations. How do you defend this new saga?
I half agree. I do think that's the next logical step. The problem is everybody had the same idea at the same time. So it's hard to stay on top of like what's fresh and new. And then to make it worse, is some people didn't do that great. Some people did it better, like across the Spider-Verse. So that's really tricky. So I agree that's the next logical choice. I think other things like the pandemic and everything probably got in the way and screwed up a lot. And I'm hearing more and more that like because of the stock and stuff like that, that's one of the reasons there was even more shows and movies and stuff like that. And I think people probably are right. They probably do have to tone it back and just put more focus on, putting out fewer that have more more challenges to it. I think that is the one thing where, as much as they experiment, which I do really like, uh, nothing was really that challenging in Phase Four. I think that's the thing that it might be missing. Where it's like I still think Phase Two is a little lesser, but that could get by okay because it was still something new. This has been around for a while. You need to challenge us more, and I think that's what's not being done. And I think that's I don't know how. Maybe you can still do it with the multiverse, but that's sort of the new element that needs to be thrown in. There has to be something challenging, something that gets people talking in a good way.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 100 bits. Since today is Dick Van Dyke's 98th birthday, check out his lesser known holiday caper, Fitz Willie, 1976 film.
Fitz Willie. I've never heard that one.
Fitzwilly. Fitz Willie.
All right. I will try to check that out.
At Movies, thank you for the 100 bits. We've got a Sex, Marry, Kill. Matthew Broderick, Pauly Shore, Rob Schneider. Schneider, sorry.
Yeah. Schneider sometimes I've heard would have an interesting conversation. So maybe marry him. No. You know what? Marry Broderick, because actually in person he seems like a very delightful human being. I guess have sex with Rob Schneider because there's no way he's into normal stuff. He's got to be into something weird. And come on, kill Pauly Shore. He was in that Pinocchio, movie, which was pretty funny, but that doesn't atone for everything else.
Fire Tower, thank you for the 100 bits. Have y'all seen Godzilla -1? If not, it's 100% worth your money to go watch it.
I hear it is. I'm not a huge Godzilla guy. I like Godzilla, but I'm not like a super fan of it. And I feel like that's a movie for super fans. I'm sure I can see it and still like it, but for someone that's trying to catch up on stuff, I gotta see Boy and the Heron, I think, first. And what the fuck's it called? The Paul Giamatti movie that just came out. Everyone says it's like the best movie of the year, and I'm blanking on it.
Holdovers.
Holdovers, yeah. Everyone's saying that's like one of the best films of the year, so that I gotta see too.
Honest Reviewer, thank you for the 100 bits. So today we also got a new trailer for Has Been Hotel after 4 years since the pilot. Are you ready for this? As the creators called it, a Disney princess story set in hell.
God, was it really 4 years ago? Holy shit. Yeah, I saw, it's so funny because I was introduced to that group through that pilot, that Has Been Hotel pilot. And I loved it. Oh my God, I never saw anything like it. And then I got into Hell of a Boss, and I love Hell of a Boss. But now I got so used to Hell of a Boss that I look at Has Been Hotel, and I'm kind of like, this could be even meaner. I think Hell of a Boss, even though it does have, some tender moments in it, it's just so dark and so mean and so doesn't give a shit that when I see something that's very different from the norm of what you see on TV and movies and stuff like that, but I'm comparing it to what I'm used to with the stuff that's online, it did surprisingly take me back a little bit. I'm just sort of like, oh, what, they want to heal the sinners? Oh, and make them good people? Oh, come on. That's, the Hell of a Boss wouldn't do that kind of thing. So now that kind of like spoiled me a little bit, but it still looks good. It still looks like it's going to be a decent show, but it's funny how that's what got me into it. But then the other show that they did, it kind of spoiled me a little bit. I'm still excited for it. And looks like it has good songs and animation and stuff. So yeah, I definitely want to check it out.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. A friend of mine told me they don't like Studio Ghibli films because they're just too weird and metaphorical for them. Does it confuse you when other people say they can't get into Ghibli?
Oh, sure. I mean, look, I remember this one time where I was working a job and going to school, and it was a night job. And sometimes I had to go from the night job straight to school. And I was just in a pissy mood. I just wasn't getting the proper sleep I needed and everything. And I didn't always want to see something that was like challenging. Sometimes I just wanted to turn my brain off and watch crap and stuff like that. And I think it was good that I went through that, because when I hear that, then I can see being like, look, I don't want to watch these weird goblins coming at me and stuff like that. I got weird goblins at work, man. I want to just enjoy something that's light and fluffy and stupid and dumb. And it's like, I get that. And even though Ghibli has a lot of like beautiful imagery and charm and is very deep and stuff like that, I can see someone just being like, nah, not today.
Sean, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, do either of you collect audiobooks? Most of my collection consists of audio Doctor Who stories. May I recommend The Destroyers, an idea for a Dalek spin-off TV series that didn't get any backing? That is interesting. I may
Hmm.
write that down because that is something I would be interested in.
Uh, no, if anything, I try, and again, the sickness hasn't helped it, but I try to force myself to read because it kind of like Heather, I have a weird thing where I'm kind of dyslexic and stuff like that. So I try to get myself more used to it. So I do read a lot of autobiographies, but yeah, and yeah, it's like with audiobooks, I'm just like, I don't know when I would. I guess now I'm going for a walk, I could listen to it, but yeah, a lot of times I'll watch stuff for Disney December when I'm exercising and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of a time thing, but there's been some great ones. When I was younger, I heard more of them, but yeah, sadly now I don't do that much.
On a Joker, thank you for the 100 bits. How do you explain what you do to someone that you just met? Or what does your wife tell people that her husband does? Thanks for the laughs.
You know, I'm so glad this became a term because for years I would say, "Oh, online videos, online comedian, online producer," and I'm like, "What? Everything sounds like porn." When I put it that way, it sounds like I do porn. And you look at me, I don't do porn. So I think when the term YouTuber became a thing,
Yeah.
that really had. What's really amazing is that when I used to say YouTuber, there's always like, "Oh, all right, sure," like lives with his mom,
Right.
kind of thing.
Yep.
But now when you say it, everyone's like, whoa, real? Okay, holy shit. Like, it's so funny how that turned around. So it's really interesting seeing that happen. It's always weird to kind of admit because I'm like, there's really no way around it. Because I either have to say YouTuber, which sounds, good, but it's going to invite a lot more questions, or I have to say online producer, which again, oh, okay, porn, kind of thing. Sometimes I put entertainer, but that doesn't work either. I got jury duty once, and I just put entertainer, and the judges look at, he's like, well, that invites more questions. I'm like, all right.
At movies, thank you for the 100 bits. NC for Dick Tracy.
uh I did Disney December on it. That's about the most I can get out of it. It's a very impressive movie. It's a very impressive, boring movie. It's one of the most amazing films I've ever seen, but that's it. It's just C. The rest of it is surprisingly dull, but I've never seen another film before it or after it, that was anywhere near like that visual style had. And it is kind of worth seeing just for that, if you can get into a film just based on that. But everything else is pretty dull.
Half Crooked Grin, thank you for the 100 bits. Gift you.
Gift you into Christmas.
Drama-opsity. There we go. We got there. Thank you for the 100 bits. Favorite Disney ride / show.
Haunted Mansion is probably my favorite ride. I could ride that a million times. Favorite Disney show. I guess I'm going to Gargoyles, maybe.
Great choice. Great choice.
Yeah, although the new DuckTales would no shit, because I had to think of like the newer shows like Gravity Falls and DuckTales and Owl House and shit like that. Probably Gravity Falls. But I feel like, yeah, no, they've had so many good shows that have come out the past few years. Yeah, but like Gargoyles, DuckTales, all they're pretty close.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, do you like any other metal groups besides Slipknot?
Oh yeah, I hate to say it, they're all the generic one. Metallica, Rob Zombie. I did like Smashing Pumpkins a lot growing up. Rammstein, I really like. Yeah, it's kind of all those ones that like. I wish I could be, the underground bands, stuff like that. But it's like, no, it's all the generic one. But the awesome ones, come on, they're awesome.
Cameron Blythe, thank you for the 100 bits. Do you think you will do an NC on The Emperor's New Groove or Treasure Planet? Has your thoughts on them changed since your Disney December?
Treasure Planet, I do have to see again because I think I just could not get around the style. Because everyone always says steampunk. I'm like, no, it's not. That's if it was steampunk, I would love it. But it's like this hybrid of like trying to be a little steampunk, but then just its own weird thing that doesn't make sense and I don't think looks that great and adds up. But it is so of its time as well. I think it's kind of distractingly of its time, but there's a lot of good stuff in it. So I do want to see that again. Emperor's New Groove, I just know I'm going to have the same thought. I'm going to love the villains and think everything else is pretty generic, which I know I'm like the oddball on that, but the villains really are fucking great. I'm just not a David Spade guy, so I think watching that in animated form, I don't hate him, you know. So again, it's like that's good, but it's like it just didn't grab me that much. I think I've said at some point I want to do like all the Disney Renaissance movies. So does that count? Is that in there? Emperor's New Groove?
I don't remember. I just
I don't
looked it
know
up
if
for
it
the
is.
tier list that we may or may not do. Thank you for helping us
All
hit
right,
that goal.
yeah. So we will. So we'll see about that. I think I'll definitely do Treasure. I might do both, actually, the more I think about it, because Emperor's New Groove might be interesting about why it does have such a following. I think that might be interesting compared to when it came out, because people did not like it when it came out. So it would be interesting to compare that.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Even though I agree with you that Cassie could have been portrayed better in Quantumania, I still appreciated how they kept her father-daughter dynamic with Scott in check. It wasn't done as well as the first two, but I'm glad they included it.
Honestly, I kind of forgot there was a daughter. I was thinking back, I was like, oh, they added a kid to the story. I'm like, wait, no, the kid's always been there.
Yeah,
I
she
kinda
has.
forgot about and sometimes the best jokes were connected to the kid. Maybe that's another reason it kind of threw me off. I was kind of like, oh man, so many good jokes were connected to that character. I would have liked even more good humor with that. But yeah, that's one of the weird things that was bizarrely off in that movie was the humor. I think the Ant-Man movies usually have really good humor, and that one was not Thor: Love and Thunder bad, but like it was off.
At movies, thank you for the 100 bits. NC for Arthur and the Invisibles.
I never saw it. I don't know if I'll do it because I did Strange Magic, which is kind of a similar movie, and nobody really like cared when I did it. So probably not, but we'll see. You know, times can change.
A Pagan Priest, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, thoughts on X-Men 97? I've heard they're adding Morph and Bishop to the roster. Thoughts on those two characters?
I mean, more. I always just connect to the first two episodes. Like he's the I don't know how do you he's a character that's around for just one reason. It's like the Couch Humor sketch where the lawyer in Jurassic Park is like, "I'm only here to die, aren't I?" kind of thing. So when they did bring him back, I mean, it was good. It was decent, but but you can tell that's why he was there. Bishop's awesome. I fucking love Bishop. If they make him part of the permanent cast, that'd be great. But Psylocke, get Psylocke in there, man. That's such a cool, great character. She always gets sidelined. It's like she was so fucking awesome. Get her in there.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, how do you feel about Nicolas Cage openly admitting that he doesn't appreciate his internet fame or meme status?
From what I heard, he did learn to appreciate. He didn't at first, but he came around to it. Well, let me put it this way: nobody does that Pedro Pascal movie where literally it's all about him being this meme without having some appreciation of it. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, like every single Dead by Daylight line that he recorded was basically a meme.
Yeah. No, I did hear at first he was thrown off by it. And I think he just didn't follow it at first. And honestly, given like how long he's been, in the industry and stuff like that, and seeing this internet thing take off and these meme things take off, that's not surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if he was confused by it. But I mean, he talked about years later, I mean, he never said, I am so offended. I am a great actor. I am blah, blah, blah. Like years later, he said, yeah, looking back, it's like, now I appreciate it. But it's like, if he said it back then I'd be like, oh, this dude's got to, get his head out of his ass. But I mean, like the fact that he is bringing it up now and like, yeah, no, I've come to grips with it and stuff. It's kind of funny. Yeah, good on him. I think it's very easy to get in your own headspace and miss the point of something or even miss the love that people have for you because they're expressing it in such a strange way. So yeah, and that sounds like that's what happened. But last I heard, unless he did like a new interview or something like that, it sounds like he's much more accepting of it now and has a good sense of humor about it.
Obsidian Fire, thank you for the 100 bits. I always want to bring this up, but I waited for you to do another Tom and Jerry review. I was wondering if you'd seen Tom and Jerry, The Fast and the Furry, where they race around the world. Also, you kind of nailed it when you said the title during your Tom and Jerry Willy Wonka first viewing.
No, not yet, but that is when a lot of people have said next to the Nutcracker one's probably like the best of those. So I'll probably get to it at some point.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits, and thank you for not putting the whole song in here. On the 13th day of Disney-cember, the critic gave to me 13 Modoc assholes.
Nice.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 100 bits. How old does a movie or era have to be nostalgic? Is it roughly 10 years or longer? By that logic, there are early 2010s movies that are now nostalgic.
Oh, sure. I usually said 10 years, but I mean recently because nostalgia is such big bank, and it has been for a while. I will review stuff like Batman v Superman. Well, God, now that's nostalgic, isn't it? That's pretty old
Right,
now.
that's what they're saying.
But
Yeah. Does
yeah,
that mean that
but
there are some 2010s movies that are nostalgic? And the answer is
oh,
yes.
sure. But I'm talking about ones that also like I don't know, like I would technically review like Ant-Man Quantumania if I wanted for nostalgia critic because it has a nostalgic character in it. And Ant-Man, the comic character goes back long, many years. So yeah, I play around with it, but in terms of like if someone was to ask me what would you say is nostalgic, I mean it's like technically it's any point in the past you look back on with fond memories, but I feel like 10 years is maybe you can make a slight argument for 5, but probably 10 years because you really change in 10 years. And I feel like looking back fondly on something, comparing who you were now to who you were then, that's where, sort of the interesting in between stuff, the gray area is kind of the most interesting with nostalgia. And I kind of feel like that's where that's mainly what I think people are talking about, like 10 years or more.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 100 bits. Have your views on Drop Dead Fred or any other worst movies list changed at all? I remember you once put Drop Dead Fred at the second worst film right behind Garbage Pail Kids. I know it's bad, but second worst? Come on. It's got Rick Mayall. Sorry.
Excuse me. No, it wouldn't be second worst. Now, it might still be in the top 10. But no, I think when I did that, I think I did the NC for about 4 years, and now it's like, 16, 17 years now. So yeah, there's going to be more added to the list. Like Cat in the Hat would be up there. Mamma Mia was pretty rough. That fucking Nutcracker 3D would be really high up there, definitely. Yeah, so there'd be more up there. Drop Dead Fred might still be in the top 10, but yeah, it wouldn't be number 2.
Hello, welcome on in, Saber Spark. They said they hope
Hey.
you're feeling better. Yes, welcome on in. Hi.
Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, I saw what you said in the YouTube comment there. That's very nice of you, man. Thanks so much. All the support. I just want to say real quick, just to everyone watching, all the support I got when I posted that video. It really does mean a lot to me. And I feel selfish because I'm not in any pain with this stuff, and I'm so fucking thankful. But man, it is unpredictable. It knocks you on your ass. It gives you this weird brain fog, and it can get really really frustrating. So I mean, I think that support that I do get from you guys, and I have enough. I'm not seeking more. I'm not give me more pity. I'm not saying that, but it really did mean a lot seeing that, particularly like when other YouTubers would reach out and stuff like that. Because I really thought I was going on my way to say, look, this is annoying, but I'll be okay and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess a lot of people have had something similar, and they just know what a pain in the ass it is, and just how fucking long it takes to go away. I still can't go back to the doctor until the end of January because they're like, we gotta wait 6 months for it. But like I said, it is with me less than it is with me. So that is good. But man, when it comes back, sometimes it's there to stay for a good while, and it's so. Thank you all just so much again.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 100 bits. Fuck, marry, kill of the biggest jerks of Hollywood: Jim Belushi, Chevy Chase, Kevin James.
I knew. I've heard stories about Chevy Chase. I didn't know the others were kind of considered jerks. I didn't know that. Okay, so I guess kill Chevy Chase. that one I know for sure. And I don't know. I guess fuck Kevin James, because again, he's got to be into something weird, man. There's no way he's into normal stuff.
God.
And then marry Jim Belushi, because I'm sure there'd be some cool stories about his brother.
At Movies, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on the 2007 movie Stardust?
Is that the what the fuck's his name? Gaiman movie? Hold on, Stardust. Let me see. It is. I like it. It's always one of those movies I kind of forget is even a thing, and then when someone brings it up, it's like, oh yeah, I like that. That's a good film. It's kind of like a Neil Gaiman Princess Bride, like his kind of warped version of Princess Bride, which it's not as good as that. But I like it. Particularly the scene I remember most is, without going too much into spoilers, when De Niro comes out to his crew and the way the crew reacts was really touching. I thought it was and believable. I thought it was a surprisingly sweet scene.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you seen the last episode of Doom Patrol? And if so, what do you think? No
Now, yeah,
spoilers.
I'm on the second to last one, and I have to wait till I get to the end. I'm indifferent to it. I'm sure a lot of that is because I'm sure there were production issues. I mean, there have been since day one and stuff like that. And then how do you wrap this all up? With I'm sure like half the budget slash and everything going on at Warner Brothers. So so far it's all right for the final season, but I'm on the second to last episode, so it'll be interesting to see how they're finally going to start really, really wrapping everything up. So, like I say, hopefully by next week, I should have them all seen by then.
Keith Creature, thank you for the 100 bits. Are you going to review the movie-based Disney Plus miniseries for Disney December? Cars on the Road, Zootopia Plus, etc.
Oh, probably not. Honestly, the biggest issue I'm finding is just getting footage for them because again, there is kind of a hmm, sorry, oh shit, brain fog. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
There is there is difficulty to getting footage for that because
Oh, for no physical releases kind of a thing?
yeah, and I know a lot of people do it. They can get pirated or copies and stuff, but man, does that look bad if we get hit for that. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we pirated that fair and square, kind of thing, because there's no other way to get the footage. So when I do something that has, it's currently out or something like that, I'm using trailers, I'm using clips that were released and stuff like that. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with Once Upon a Studio, because that thing's only like what 10 minutes long, and how many clips of that are free to use online? So I'm just like, so could be a lot of still images in that one.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 100 bits. Do you think Disney should get Tim Burton back more as a director for more of their films? I remember you saying you actually liked Dumbo movie. Do you think he can inject more life into Disney? Also, do you think Tim Burton could direct a good Harry Potter film? I think it could work.
Well, I did not say I liked Dumbo. I said I was close to like it, but I do not. Let's not put words in my mouth.
Good clarification.
A Disney live action remake, like I did not. But there were a lot of things where I came close to liking it. No, I want him to go back to original stuff. I think once in a while he can do a good, remake, but it's not often. And I think we were talking about nostalgia. I think that's what he has he's a very visual person. And I don't know. I think he just needs a good writer. I don't think he'd be a good Harry Potter director, honestly. I think he needs to keep his ideas simple. Something like Edward Scissorhands was so simple, but it had such a good script, and good character. Well, he always has good actors. So that's why I think he needs to go back to, keep it simple, stupid, as they used to teach in film school.
At Movies, thank you for the 100 bits. Actually, Frady Cat was an unmade Disney animated movie from the early 2000s about a cat framed for eating a parrot. It would have made fun of Hitchcock.
Huh. Okay. Hitchcock, interesting. Like a high anxiety version of a Disney film. I'd be curious to see what they were gonna do. I don't know how many kids are into Hitchcock, but I'd be curious.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 100 bits. I got here late, so I have no idea if this was asked, but have you seen the new trailer for the Has Been Hotel show? And if so, thoughts?
Yeah, I was saying, I think Hell of a Boss has kind of spoiled me a little bit because I love the mean-spiritedness of that show, that I kind of forgot what the plot of Has Been Hotel was, that when I saw it, I'm like, oh, they want to help out the sinners? Okay. I mean, Hell of a Boss, they would have just let them, suffer. So I think I was kind of jaded by that. Funny enough, even though Has Been Hotel is what got me into all that, but it still looks good. It looks funny. The animation is still gorgeous. It looks like it's good songs and everything. So I'm excited for it. But man, isn't that funny how that turn kind of happens?
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Which Disney song do you like more or think is better? Beauty and the Beast or A Whole New World?
Yeah, I like A Whole New World.
Me too.
They're both wonderful. But yeah, I think I have a soft spot because I had a girlfriend at a time where we would sing that song all day. It's a nice duet song and stuff like that. So I'm always gonna have like kind of fond memories of that. It's a very romantic song because it is a duet as well. Um, yeah, the one thing that always it's funny because oh, what's his name? It's a Ryan George or George Ryan. I think it's Ryan George. Did this sketch about this line that I always thought was weird too. The "Don't you dare close your eyes" line always
Okay.
sounded odd to me. And
Okay.
I know what he's saying. He's like, no, don't close your eyes. See everything. See everything. But it just sounds weird. And
Don't
that's
you
even,
dare close your eyes.
yeah, like,
Open
you
them,
know,
bitch.
it's just a weird, everything else could be kind of abstract, but then just like when you get that in there, it's so specific. And it doesn't help too that in the scene he literally grabs her hands and holds them like that, which again could be very romantic because he does that, but then he's like holding her. Oh, isn't that sweet? But it can also be a little creeper moment. So I get it. It's like baby, it's cold outside. It could be seen as a creeper thing. I know it's not. I know what it's trying to do. I see the romance of it, but it is funny to think of that angle to it.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. As someone who knows more Sega games besides Sonic, I'm super excited about the new entries to Streets of Rage, Shinobi, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, and Jet Set Radio. This will sound hypocritical as someone who hates the console war mentality, but growing up with the Genesis, I'll support Sega more than I support Nintendo, sitting high and mighty on their laurels there.
Yeah, there's always. I think especially if you're a Nintendo kid or a Sega kid, you're always going to be loyal to that one more than the other. I was a Nintendo kid, so I'm more loyal to that. But there were a lot of Sega games where I'm just like, oh, that game looks like fun. God damn it.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 100 bits. What is your favorite English dub performance in a Studio Ghibli film? For me, it's Phil Hartman and Kiki's Delivery Service.
Man. Oh, fuck. There's so many good ones. I mean,
know.
Kirsten Dunst is great as Kiki. And she was a fucking, I mean, she's still a great actress, but she was such a good child actress. Cloris Leachman, I think, is great in Spirited Away. What's in, DeVay Chase, is that her name? Who did Zen, is phenomenal.
I have a soft spot for Christian Bale in Howl's Moving Castle, too.
And he was very good. He had a lot of
was.
dimension to his voice. He brought a lot of weight to it. And then just silly ones like Tim Curry as the Cat King, Cat Returns. Oh, Carrie Elways as the cat was great. And I thought Hathaway was very charming in that too. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to Daisy Riley in the what's it called? Memories of Yesterday? Is that what's called? What's it called?
Oh Lord.
What the fuck is it called?
Oh Lord. What's wrong with both of us, Doug? Your brain fog is rubbing off on me too.
Ghibli, just yesterday.
Only yesterday. Thank you, chat.
I thought she was wonderful in that. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to. It's one of the few times where it's hard to find a bad dub in those movies. They are done so very, very well.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 100 bits. On a scale of 1 to 10, how insufferable was Ice Age 5?
Oh, and not that insufferable, just dull. I barely remember anything about it. I think even in the Disney Center, I'm just like, I don't know. It ain't good, but it can babysit your kids for an hour and a half, I guess. I don't know. What the fuck am I supposed to say about this? Yeah, so there's not much to it.
Drama Opsity, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, question for both. What celebrity guest would you want to be on NC?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I've had most of them on. That's the thing. Maybe like a Tim Curry would be kind of cool. Actually, I was talking about. Maybe not on NC, but I love to do an interview with Andrea Romano. I feel like must have some amazing stories. Or I can never say her name. Margaret Lesh. I think it's Loesch, who's the head of Fox Kids. Again, is the whole reason we got like X-Men. Must have some phenomenal stories too. And those are the two where I'm like, I don't know if anyone would watch them, but Christ, I would love to do an interview with those two.
Mustard Man, thank you for the 100 bits. Pick for the worst Christmas song ever. Mine will forever be I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. Good choice.
That's pretty bad. That
choice.
is pretty bad. Two Front Teeth is pretty bad. I hate that fucking Grinch one from the newer Grinch movie. Where are you, Christmas? Yep. It just sounds so like we want a hip hop song. You know what I mean? And it's just like, ugh.
Yes. I hate Christmas shoes. I hate that song.
I guess I never hear that one. Because everybody hates that one. And I'm like, what song is this?
Sir,
I never
hear
it.
Buy these shoes for my mama, please.
Oh no, okay. We
It's
did talk about this
Christmas Eve.
before.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, somehow I never heard it on the radio. So I guess it's a good thing because everybody's like, ah, like it's often said to be the worst Christmas song. So yeah, it's interesting.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. This past Halloween, I watched Psycho 2 for the first time and enjoyed it quite a bit. It obviously wasn't as good as the original, but the story built well off the first and had some really good twists in it. What are your thoughts?
The sequels weird. Okay, I can't say they're good, but they're not that bad. They all have something interesting in them, which I would not expect for any Psycho sequel. So although I don't know if I saw four, but shit, was there a four? I'm pretty sure there's a four. But yeah, but two and three, all of them weirdly have some good things in them.
Dark Lord, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey Doug, Kung Fu Panda 4 is apparently going to be a thing. Trailer out now. Excited yet?
Yeah, I thought it looked good. I like they didn't show too much. I'm glad they kept it a teaser. They only showed little hints to get you interested, but there's room for more, more growth, which I like.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 100 bits. This is actually Miss Roos's attorney. I understand after all my client's hard work, all you gave her was a year's membership into the Jelly of the Month Club. She cannot put in a new pool with that. What is your response?
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Adam Gunther, thank you for the 100 bits. Which James Gunn movie do you like more, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or The Suicide Squad?
Oh, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, The Suicide Squad for me too.
I like Guardians fine, but I loved two. Two was, might be like, Infinity War is probably my favorite, but two would be like my second favorite Marvel movie. I really, really liked it. So yeah.
KP Kruk, thank you for the 100 bits. I've watched many alternative history videos on YouTube. I'm always curious on if certain historical event played differently, how the entertainment industry would be changed. What historical event do you think would have altered the entertainment industry if it played differently?
Huh. I always had a theory that if I don't know if you, I guess you could argue this is entertainment. If Walt Disney didn't go into entertainment, he'd be a dictator. 100%. And let me tell you, if you heard his plan for Epcot, I'm really not even joking. Like, I think that's the route he would have gone. Thank God he went into entertainment. Thank God we did see that kind side of it, stuff like that. Because I mean, like, again, I don't. It's funny because I always kind of made that joke, like he just kind of had that drive. But then when I heard his plans for Epcot, I'm like, oh, I was right. I was really right. I always kind of argue he died at just the right time because if he kept going and Epcot came to life like he wanted, that could have destroyed him. It would have been really fascinating to see what happened. But I'm glad it didn't because I like Disney. I love everything that he created and say what he did for entertainment and animation. But yeah, I think he kicked the bucket at just the right time.
Random cartoon fan, thank you for the 100 bits. I had an idea for the story of a potential spin-off film of Hotel Transylvania focusing on Dennis and Winnie. They get transported to another world via artifact found in the storage of the hotel and find themselves in this world where anything that grows from the ground is alive. Think of it as a non-boring version of Disney's Strange World, and it's two kids being the focus of mainstream animated film. Anyone notice that those are kind of rare these days?
Yeah, but it's funny because I was thinking to myself, maybe if you grew them up, that'd be interesting. You were saying, no, keep them kids. That's what's interesting about it. I don't know. I feel like they're good side characters. They're very cute as side characters. If you make them the main lead, I feel like that would get pretty annoying unless you grow them up. And even then, they can still be annoying depending on how they do it. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be an idea. Write it. I mean, that's the thing with the internet now. You can just write it, post it, put on your fanscription, whatever, and yeah, everybody can see it.
Obsidian Fire, thank you for the 145 bits. Have you ever heard of Epic, the musical soundtrack? It's a retelling of the Odyssey and has great songs. If you have, which is your favorite? Mine is either This Is My Goodbye or Survive. I don't specifically know the songs, but I definitely have heard it. It came across my TikTok For You page a little while ago. Because the new one's coming, the next chapter is coming out soon, isn't it? Or Saga or whatever is coming out soon, I think.
The Troy Saga? Huh. No, I've never heard of this. It sounds
good.
Cool. It sounds really cool. I will check that out.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Did you guys get your Spotify Wrapped yet? Let me share my top 5 most played songs of the year. Number 1, Find Your Flame from Sonic Frontiers. Number 2, Vandalized by OK1, 1 OK Rock. Number 3, Wicked Campaign by Modest Mouse. Number 4, No One Knows by Queens of the Stone Age. And number 5, Just Like Heaven, The Cure.
I do not have a Spotify account. I apologize.
Dark Lord, thank you for the 100 bits. So, since each adaptation of A Christmas Carol brings something to the table that stands out, what parts would you take from what adaptations to create your ideal Christmas Carol?
Uh, a lot of it would come from the George C. Scott one because that's probably my personal favorite. I don't know if it's the best, but it's like my personal favorite. Some I've always wanted to see. Obviously, he's passed away now, but I'm like, man, would this been cool? And he would have looked different, but so would George C. Scott. I love to see Bob Hoskins as Scrooge. Wouldn't that have just
Hmm.
been amazing?
Okay.
Um, there was another one. They never did this in film, but he would read it all the time, and I'm like, ooh, man, he'd be interesting too. James Earl Jones as Scrooge would be very interesting.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because he's read it a lot at like
Yeah.
live readings and stuff like that, and I'm thinking that would, again, it would have been very different, particularly like the size of the bed. But George C. Scott was kind of big too, and I don't know with James Earl Jones, would you do it modern, which is just do like everyone's whatever race, but the same time period. I don't know with James Earl Jones, I always thought like a modern version of it would be interesting, but I don't even know if he's acting now. He's probably not. I mean, the dude's pretty old and I'm sure tired. I don't know. I would be at that age. But yeah, I think one of those would be interesting. I don't know if that answers the question, but yeah, it's just I don't know. There's so many good elements and so many good Christmas carols. I don't know how it'd be too long to answer that, if that makes sense.
Tulip fan, thank you for the 125 bits. Please review and check out Mega Babies. It's seriously more disgusting than Garbage Pail Kids. I think you could get some good material out of it. Also, as much as you love Brazil, do you think its ending is happy or a tragedy? I can't honestly decide.
Well, that's what I love about it. It's hard to say, isn't it? Well, this looks like a early '90s cartoon. Okay. Yeah, just the title of it, I was like, oh, that sounds nasty. I was just like, oh, it does kind of look nasty, but it looks very early '90s, which kind of looks fun. And yeah, no, that's why I love about the ending of that movie. And it does technically have two different endings. One has clouds at the end, the other doesn't. And the director said what's so interesting is that the one that did not have clouds, people swore they did see clouds. He said, which is so cool. He says that's amazing that they never saw this version, but they swear they still saw them there at the end. And I think that's really, really neat.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 100 bits. Who was the most annoying character in those Ice Age movies for you?
Oh, he got better, but the sloth, that voice was so. I mean, I can't even do it. Whatever lisp or weird thing he has, I was just like, oh, shut up, I hate you. But as it went on, he dialed it back, and he was at least tolerable. But his grandma was pretty funny. The Wanda Sykes character, I thought was pretty funny.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Last weekend, my siblings and I saw Die Hard in IMAX. It's weird, but one of the lines that always cracks me up the most is when one of Hans Men's is shooting at John under the table and he evilly says, ha ha ha, no more table.
I really don't remember that line. Again, I gotta see that again. I've seen that movie a lot too. It's weird I don't remember that. I wonder how that would be in IMAX because it's very, very. It's not shot for IMAX. So when I see a movie on IMAX and it has those two black bars at the top and bottom, that is distracting to me. It's one of those things I can never quite, especially when it goes back and forth. Like when Dark Knight came out, man, it's so cool they shot it for IMAX, but it's only half the movie they shot. So when those black bars would keep popping in and out, I'm usually pretty good at separating myself from that. But man, was that rough for me whenever I see those black bars there.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 100 bits. What is your favorite holiday besides Christmas and Halloween?
Uh,
Thanksgiving. Give me all the food.
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna say Thanksgiving. Yeah. I because it really is like Christmas part one. I mean, and a lot of people say that's a problem. I hear where you're coming from. I agree, but I love Christmas so much. I'm down for another one.
Alan, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug, I loved your Disney December, the Spectacular Spider-Man. I was actually thinking that if it did get a chance to continue, it had the potential to be the best adaptation of Spider-Man ever. Well, in a world where older cartoons get resurrected, so maybe it could happen. Lots writing on X-Men 97 to do well, maybe.
I hope so. Like I said, because I think they said something like there's supposed to be like I don't know, like 3 more seasons or something like that. I know they're not going to give them that. But I think they deserve at least one more season. I mean, it clearly has a following. So I don't know. If I was a Disney producer, I would want to give them 3, but be like, I mean, we'll give you 1 and condense it. But yeah, I feel like they could. I don't know. I feel like they can do that. Like, put it this way, I love X-Men 90. I love X-Men. I can't wait for X-Men 97. I feel like right now the hot thing is probably Spectacular Spider-Man. People really have nostalgia for that. So I don't know. I would hop on that while it's hot.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. So I'm watching Batman the Animated Series for the first time, and today I watched one of the most praised episodes of the show, Heart of Ice. Now, the episode is great, it truly is, but I'm personally not that in love with the episode.
I know where you're coming from. The reason people love it so much is because it was a complete recreation of Mr. Freeze. Um, and it was just such an interesting backstory and such a visually interesting backstory, such a tragic, poetic backstory. But if you grow up already knowing that, you grew up with Batman and Robin and stuff like, oh yeah, I know this story, I know blah blah blah. It's not going to do as much for you. But I will say this, because I kind of thought the same thing too. I'm like, this is good, but I didn't think it was great. Listening to the dialogue again, in fact, just read the dialogue that Mr. Freeze says, because the actor does a good job, but the idea is he's supposed to be so cold and so removed that if you just read those lines, they have such weight to them, and they're so there's such a beauty to them and a tragedy to them that I think get a copy of the script and just read the lines that he says, and tell me if it changes at all.
Carl Thorsten, thank you for the 500 bits for
Thank you.
Timing! Timing indeed. Timing indeed. FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on the American Pie movies?
I never got into those movies. And you know what? I wanted to. I was ready to like them. I was ready to like these characters. I was ready to get another. There's something about Mary where it's like a gross out movie, but the characters are so funny and everything. And just nothing. I think Levy was the only thing I kind of liked as the father, but and I did like the band camp thing. That was cute, but that's about it. I can't think of anything else that was funny about that movie. But people loved it, and it just completely went over my head.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts/NC for the Jerry Seinfeld movie, my favorite, the Bee Movie.
I might do it, because honestly, Heather talking about the background for it did make me go, oh shit, maybe I should reconsider this, because I can't talk about this movie without really knowing the background of it and kind of the hate for it and the meme, like baby's first troll meme and stuff like that. Yeah. And there is a part of me, it's like, am I opening up the floodgates for this? But I'm also like, I feel like enough time has passed where people are like, again, where they would look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I made those memes and those jokes and stuff like that. Yeah, I was such a dumb like enough time has passed where I feel like those people have probably grown up. So I feel like now it might be interesting to talk about, because I kind of like that movie. I'm not going to lie. It's stupid. It's dumb. It has no reason to exist, but I do think it's creative. I think there's some good jokes. I love how pointless it is. I love it has no reason to exist. I love watching all these first viewings where people watch it for the first time and they're like, I don't know, I thought it was pretty funny and stuff, and people are like, boo. So I don't know. If for any other reason, kind of like the Pokemon thing, just to kind of piss off people, it might be fun to do.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. YouTube channel Hats Off Entertainment released a video addressing plagiarism allegations against the Zucker, Abrams, Zucker, and Leslie Nielsen movies. Thoughts?
I haven't seen it yet. That is funny. The two major videos about plagiarism just came out.
Yeah, right.
I guess it's the hot subject matter. Because I've seen both of those, and I didn't know there were jokes that were very, very similar. So yeah, no, I gotta watch that, because I love he does stuff that like nobody's demanding to see, and it's such a niche audience, but I really feel like he does it with such passion and love that it's like, again, I like all that stuff. I don't know if I'd say I love it, but watching his videos brought me back to a time where I was like, I do remember really enjoying this. Like, he really helps you relive what was really fun and kind of inventive about it when you first see it. So yeah, I will definitely check that out, but I haven't yet.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on Dream Scenario?
I haven't seen it yet. I'll probably have to stream it when it comes out. There's so many movies I got the screenings for, and I was so excited, and then the stupid fatigue would knock me out, and like I'd have to push back stuff. So I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, so I haven't seen Wonka. I doubt I'm gonna see Aquaman. as an hour when I got a screening for it, and I'm just like, I really want to see it. I bet it'd be cool on IMAX and everything, but like, I don't think I'm gonna have time to see it. What was the question?
Your thoughts on
Sorry.
Dream Scenario. So you just haven't
Oh
seen it.
no,
That's all.
haven't seen it yet. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Cliff Note version, haven't seen it.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Top 3 favorite Paul Newman performances.
You know, this is a terrible thing to say. I haven't seen that much Paul Newman.
Okay.
I guess I saw Easy Rider. Was he in Grapes of Wrath? I saw that. I don't even know if he was in that. Yeah, he's one of those actors where it's like, if you show him to me, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I know that's Paul Newman, but like, what's he been in? Man, I don't know. A whole bunch of movies I haven't seen. So yeah, I'm sorry. I hear he's great.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 100 bits. Who is worse, Stephen Baldwin or Pauly Shore?
I mean, as people or actors? As people, I feel like I would like Pauly Shore more. As actors, I feel, yeah. Well, but what's a good? His Barney Rubble was pretty good. I guess I'd say Stephen Baldwin. He was good in Usual Suspects too, where I'm like, man, Pauly Shore, I think just has that Pinocchio movie.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 100 bits. What has been your favorite episode of Hell of a Boss?
Um, Man, that's a good question. I'm trying to think what one I was watching. I kind of there's one where they go to Hollywood, and I think the Wolf Girl is trying to look for like the daughter of like some like it's like the devil or something like that. And I remember that episode because it was funny, but there's just a nice moment where they kind of sit like that cliche where they look out over Hollywood, you know, kind of thing. That might have even been on the Hollywood sign. I don't know, but they just have a nice talk, and I'm just like, man, this is a fucking wolf lady, you know, talking to the spawn, this literal spawn of hell. And they're having like a real conversation. And I'm just like, I love it when something can do that, sort of take something that's so absurd, but find this bizarre humanity in it. I think that's the point where I said, oh, okay, there's really like, there's layers to this, and I really enjoy this.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 100 bits. Who's your favorite character in Hell of a Boss?
Oh, the prince I really like, and I can't explain why. There's just something about the way he looks, the way he talks. He's complex. He's interesting. He has an interesting backstory. I don't always know what he's gonna do or say. He's very charming. Yeah, that's the character I think I like the most.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Everyone rants and raves about how great pop culture in the 80s and 90s, but as a 2000s kid, I'll make a case for my decade. We had Halo, Xbox Live, the glory days of early YouTube, Tropic Thunder, the Wii, metal, and rock music was still mainstream and other stuff. I know damn well 2030 is going to get nostalgic for that time, and I'm going to embrace it fully.
I'd argue, okay, video games, that's probably a fair point. That probably is fair. Everything else, I feel like it didn't start getting interesting again until maybe like mid to late 2000s. I'm not a big fan of the late 90s or early 2000s. I don't know, just for media, I think it's kind of, I don't want to say a complete dead zone, but there just wasn't, I didn't find much that was very innovative about it, you know, aside from a handful of things. I was gonna say kind of like when Lord of the Rings popped up. That's when, and maybe because that was such a huge experiment and such a huge gamble that people kind of went, oh, all right, let's try this. See what we can do with this. That's when sort of bigger gambles started to happen. Again, I'm going mainly by movies. You might be right about video games.
We are going to have to pick it up a little bit. We are still 40 minutes behind.
Gotcha.
At Movies, thank you for the 300 bits. Cybermonks!
Yeah!
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Favorite game show?
The Price is Right. I like that show a lot.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug's porn slogan. Hello, I'm the nostalgia critic. I have sex with it, so you don't have to.
There is a nostalgia critic porno out there. I'm not in it, but it exists, and there's more than one.
Rule 34. Clover Bandy Gamer, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I've been a fan of your YouTube content for a good while, and I've got a good classic series for you to review. Search Sylvian Famileeds cartoon 1987. It's a good cartoon. So it's SYLVANIAN space FAMILIEDS.
I found it.
Oh, okay.
I kind of know what. No, wait, do I? There's a show called Mapleton or Mapletown or something like that. I thought maybe that was it, but maybe it's not. All right, I'll try to look it up.
The Gaming Politician, thank you for the 100 bits. Loved meeting you at Grand Rapids Comic Con last month. Did you get a chance to read my Star Wars fan fiction? And if so, like or dislike, favorite and least favorite parts?
I got a little into it. I didn't get that far. I didn't have time. Again, the 15. Right after I got back from the con, I was out for like maybe 5 days. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
So I did not get a chance to read much of it. I'm so sorry.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. What's going on here? Malcolm landed a role in Lackadaisy, an indie cartoon, and now Doug, you've landed a stint in an upcoming indie game about a rubber hose cartoon? What is that about?
They just asked. They said it was like the Mad Doctor, and I love the Mad Doctors. I'm just like, sure. It's not much. I have like 3 lines, but it's pretty cool to be in it.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 100 bits. The Disney Renaissance goes from Little Mermaid through Tarzan. Everything after Tarzan is post-Renaissance. So yes, no Emperor's New Groove.
Gotcha. Well, I might still review it. We'll see.
Alex loves musicals, thank you for the 100 bits. A possible NC on Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I think it's on DVD and Blu-ray.
I don't know if there's much I could add to it. It's good, see it, but I don't know if there's anything I can really bring to it that'd be that new.
At Movies, thank you for the 100 bits. NC for the Tron movies.
I like them. I don't love them. I don't have a diehard passion for. I did Disney December of them again, so I watched those.
Alan, thank you for the 100 bits. Oh yeah, Doug, Morph in X-Men the Animated Series is worth it for him to think he died because of it. We got that awesome scene in episode 1 when Wolverine punches Cyclops in the stomach. I still rewind that scene over and over.
Next time I'll use these.
Sean, thank you for the 100 bits. I think the real problem with the MCU as it is in superhero movies in general, lack of direction, who cares? Taika Waititi said Thor was just a paycheck to him, the director of the Marvels. She left during post-production. If you have no passion for these characters, that's going to show in your movies and the audience don't want to invest their time and money in it. What do you think?
I think Disney might play a big part in that and trying to mainstream it a little bit. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I've heard from people that have worked for Disney. That'd be my guess, but I don't know these people. I'm not sure 100%.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Been rewatching It's Always Sunny this past week. Season 15 got emotional and heavy towards the end, centering around Charlie and his real dad. Charlie's acting was compelling enough, but do you guys think a show this wild and silly has earned an emotional peak? Sure, why not?
Yeah, I agree. We see something of ourselves in those characters, even though they are awful, they are sociopaths and stuff like that. But there's still something that brings us back to them. And there is a patheticness to them that we still recognize, and maybe we do see a little bit in ourselves. So I think for them to tap into that and show there is a reason these people are together, I think it works okay. As long as it's not like majority of it, but yeah, once in a while, I think that's fine.
Exile, thank you for the 100 bits. Did you play the God of War Valhalla DLC, and have you played the Alan Wake sequel? If not, good luck getting the song Herald of Darkness out of your head.
No, I haven't, but I will at the very least look up that song.
Dark Lord, thank you for the 100 bits. Would you ever consider watching the internet series Red vs. Blue? It's a bit of a slow burn as it starts off with everyone just standing around talking, which the show itself points out every now and then.
Oh yeah, I used to love that show. I got to season 7 or 11, I can't remember, but yeah, religiously watch it. Somewhere I fell off and wasn't able to watch it much anymore, but I should pick it up again because yeah, I loved it.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. What are your thoughts on Me, Myself, and Irene? Personally, it's one of my least favorite Jim Carrey movies. I thought it was pretty unpleasant.
I don't think I ever finished it. The little I saw was so stupid and dumb. I was just like, this isn't worth my time.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 100 bit. If it's not too painful, can you share what happened when you quoted Beetlejuice to your grandmother?
Oh, she just gave a look to my mom and just said, "Where did he hear that?" Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Answer honestly, if South Park wrapped up and we got no more of it, would we be able to get a worthy successor as funny, fearless, satirical, and centrist as them? Or simply put, are we fucked royally?
Oh, sure. Comedy, entertainment, it all changes. And some evolve, some devolves and stuff, some both. So yeah, it'd be different, but I'm sure we will.
Strider for life, thank you for the 100 bits. So Doug, what are your thoughts on the final episode of Loki?
I haven't seen any of season 2. I hear it's great. I hear it's like one of the few really good Disney things that have come out this year. So I have to check it out.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Oh, we're talking about Spotify Wrapped now. Well, here are my top 5 artists of the year. 5, Hans Zimmer. 4, 3 Days Grace. 3, Dead by April. 2, Skillet. And number 1, Black Veil Brides.
Oh, we rapping now?
Alan, thank you for the 100 bits. Well, Doug, remember Walt Disney cryogenically froze his head so he could eventually come back if technology advances? He'll be walking around Disneyland like Mr. Freeze's head in that episode, Batman the Animated Series, Cold Comfort.
That's totally a dictator thing, isn't it? Think about it. Totally a dictator thing.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Favorite episode of Parks and Rec?
Oh shit. Again, maybe the last one. I thought everyone had a pretty good finale, a pretty good send off.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. What is the most mind-blowing example of the Mandela effect in movies that you can name?
Uh, This is not a good one, but I literally just discovered this for years in Home Alone. When he starts running to the house, he leaves the church and he runs to the house. I always thought there was a rock guitar that started off and went like that. I'm always like, why isn't that in the soundtrack? I want that guitar going like that. How weird. John Williams just used a rock guitar, and it wasn't. It was one of the kids singing, and it was just so loud and high pitched. It sounded like a guitar, and I'm like, for years I always heard this different thing. So I don't know if that counts, but it was pretty mind blowing to me.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. You once did an NC editorial about how the Purge movies got better and appeared to listen to / use their criticism to improve. Is there another film series that did this?
Oh man, I feel like there's one or two, but I can't remember what they are. I'm blanking. I'm sorry. I know there are, but I can't think of them right now. I'm sorry.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Suggestions for next year's Disney-Cember, Heavyweights, Planes 2, and Tamra's favorite, Air Bud.
Did I not do Airbud? I thought I did Airbud. Maybe I'll do it there. No Way Home, the Spider-Man movies. I think the newer one. I think they listened to the criticism and they really made a perfect film by the end there.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. You guys want a jingle that'll really fill you with Christmas spirit? Try Happy Holidays, You B Word by Blink-182. Sums up Christmas to a T. Take my word for it. Wink, wink.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if I've heard that one. I gotta check it out.
Zircon, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug, one of the first Nostalgia Critic reviews I ever watched was Good Burger. With the sequel out now, can we expect a Good Burger 2 review in the future?
Man, if I can get a physical copy, man, I don't know. Although I hear it's fun. I hear for what it is, it's actually pretty fun. I believe him. I haven't seen it, but I think people are probably are probably right.
Adam Dravian, thank you for the 500 bits. Really appreciate that. Hello, Doug. This is the Holiday Inn security guard you hung out with for a couple of hours in Grand Rapids. I wanted to thank you for being so cool and letting me hang. Hope to see you next year.
Yeah, no, you were fine, man. You were really fine. I always love people like, I'm sorry if I'm going too far. I'm like, no, we drop hints. We make it clear if you're going too far. You were fine.
FBL, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you seen the YouTube video where it spoofs the Joker trailer but with clips of George Costanza?
Yeah, we're living in a society.
Zircon, thank you for the 100 bits. One movie I've been dying to see a review is Kung Pao Enter the Fist. That film is something else and surprisingly ahead of its time in terms of humor.
I might do that this January. That's one I've gotten a lot of requests for. I've never seen it, so I do want to check it out.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. If you had to pick one film to sum up the late 90s, early 2000s dark age of film, what would it be? One that encompasses everything wrong with that era of cinema.
Like a three-way toss-up between one of the dumb disaster movies like Dante's Peak or something. Somebody said American Pie. I'll put that in there, American Pie. And I've grown to appreciate this film for the time capsule it is, but I would have this be the movie. Space Jam.
Space Jam.
I really feel like that's just the most 96, like, oh, we just don't care. It's a commercial and we're proud.
Forget you, Doug. Up-to-date, thank you for the 100 bits. I grew up in the early 2000s, and the only things I can remember is Hot Topic, Ghost Rider, Halo, Skylanders, and The Legend of Spyro, and Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii.
Did the Wii come out that early? Holy shit. Again, maybe there's more to it in terms of video games.
Up-to-date, thank you for the 100 bits. Also, I'm trying to learn animation. Should I use 2D or 3D animation? Should I learn both?
I mean, you learn both if you can. That make the most sense. But if you have to choose one, I mean, 3D is... Well, it depends what you want. 3D would be good for films. 2D might be good for online stuff. And that stuff is growing.
The Gaming Politician, thank you for the 100 bits. I totally understand and I wish you well, but I still want to know if you're still going to read my script. What did you think of what you've read so far? Your health comes first, obviously.
There's a lot of technical stuff in there that was a little hard to, again, with the brain fog, it's a little hard to read it in a flowing manner, but I will do my best. Again, I cannot promise when I would read it.
The Strider for Life, thank you for the 100 bits. With the Good Burger sequel, I'm looking forward to your favorite scene making a comeback. Bloopity, bloopity, bloopity.
So excited. So
Optinate, thank you for the 100 bits. I have a few movies I would like to see you review. Always watching a Marble Hornet story, The Toxic Avenger, Godzilla Minus One, and the Slender Man movie from 2018.
Maybe I'll do the Slender. I heard it's bad, but that might be fun then. Yeah, we'll see about the others.
Okay, and I think then we have 5 minutes
Woo!
for highlighted messages.
I have seen The Toxic Avenger, by the way. I was like, wait, I saw that. I should clarify I saw that. That's awesome.
Blabbleblock says, it's fitting that this year's NC commercial special was released on the 60th anniversary of JFK's assassination. Well, I didn't pre-read that one. Surely this is a loving tribute to him.
Clearly, especially with all the gun jokes.
Cha says, NC on Forrest Gump.
I've thought about it. Maybe. I'd love to do a video, maybe not NC video, but just like a me at the desk here video about, I always forget the terminology is. I think disability was the term. Playing people with disabilities, particularly, along the lines of someone like Forrest Gump and stuff. Because I think that's an interesting subject to talk about, because I do feel like there's people who have done it very well, people who have not, and what the difference is. And is it ethically right to do? Is it not ethically right to do? All of that's really fascinating to me. So I might do a video on that, maybe work in Forrest Gump, because Forrest Gump, I think, is somewhere in between. I think there's a lot that works in that movie, and I think there's a lot that really doesn't.
Give you a good excuse to just shit all over Sia's music.
I still want to see that, man. I still want to see that. But that's the thing. I love when they're done. Okay. It's a shame when they're done badly, for obvious reasons. But Christ, just from a comedic standpoint, it's so fucking funny. I still gotta see that movie.
Power Gamer asks, best and worst DreamWorks movie.
Oh, man, I haven't seen it, but I'll just say that Spirit sequel that looks like it's just supposed to be like a Saturday morning girls cartoon. Best, man. I say the Kung Fu Panda? Well, I really like Prince of Egypt a lot. It's hard to say if that's the best or if, like, collectively the Kung Fu Panda movies are the best, but they've had a lot of good stuff.
Elite Gamer says, Doug, if you could cameo in any big Hollywood production, what would it be?
It was kind of a half joke, but I'm a little serious. If M. Night Shyamalan, out of nowhere, said, I want to put you in a movie, I would say yes, because I would love to see how that guy works. I would just, even if he's like, you're gonna be the asshole, you're gonna be the guy that gets punched in the face a million times, I'd be like, yes, please, because nobody's making movies like him. They're just so bizarre and odd, and most of the time they don't work, but sometimes they do. But either way, they're always unique and so personally his, and he keeps going. Nothing stopped him yet, and he's always done it his way, and I fucking love that.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Just want to end the stream by saying, sticks a red bow on Doug and Heather. You're my present this year.
Thanks, sis.
Optinate, thank you for the 100 bits. Also, fun fact, Godzilla Minus One was made for a budget of $15 million, and CGI looks better than the newer Hollywood movies. Yeah, but that's also because some of those studios really abuse their CGI artists.
On top of that, I mean, I gotta see the movie, but I get the feeling the budgets for a lot of these special effects movies now, they're throwing in so many effects where they want to create like worlds and landscapes, places you've never seen, where Godzilla, you're using a city that already exists and a creature that already exists. And you're doing stuff that has been done a lot, so you can perfect it more. And I doubt there's as many effect shots in this as, say, like Ant-Man 3 or the Marvels or something like that. So that's my guess. I haven't seen the movie. I could be totally wrong. Maybe everybody's CG in Godzilla Minus One. But yeah, I'll have to see.
Honest reviewer, thank you for the 100 bits. Last bits of the night, just to say to you, Doug, gift yourself.
Gift yourself in the Christmas. Man, people really love that one.
They really do. They do, and I love it too. Well, that does bring us basically to 8 o'clock, so we'll just wrap up with that. Thank you, as usual, everyone, for joining us here today. We super appreciate you. Please remember, we do have content here 5 days a week, so please come on back. Thursday tomorrow, Tamara will be in town, so there will be a stream tomorrow. Friday, we should have Malcolm and Doug here on Friday night, and then I'll start it all again on Monday. And yeah, we'll be here, ready to hang out with you. We are going to go raid Tamara, our good friend Tamara Chambers, who is live on Twitch right now. So
good old Tammy.
Oh, Doug, never Tammy, you know that.
Shit. Maybe I did know that.
Oh, really?
No,
she hates it. Do not call her Tammy.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. Holy
yes.
fuck.
Yes.
I mean, I guess I never called her it before. She's less offended when I called her Tamara for like months and months at the start, which everybody still does. She's probably just used to that.
Anyway, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you all later. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.